Hi Whiz Kids and welcome back to Science with Sophie. I hope you're all having a very good week and enjoying the start of your summer holidays. Today's first experiment, we are going to be making invisible ink out of lemon juice and milk. So let's get on with it. All you're going to need for this experiment is some milk and some lemon juice, or if you only have one, that's fine as well. But yeah, and then some pieces of paper, some cotton buds, and also a stove or some form of heating apparatus so that you can heat your papers up, which I'll explain later. So we will be using hot surfaces, so you'll need a parent because you should not be touching the stove. So yeah, get your parents involved and let's get started. So to get started, you're going to take one of your pieces of paper and you can choose either milk or lemon juice, so you can put them into glasses to make it easier to get them with your cotton bud. And all you're going to do is dip your cotton bud in, draw a picture using the milk or lemon juice. I'm going to do both. I'll do two different ones. I've got two pieces of paper. Yeah, and then leave them to dry and we'll come back to them in a bit. So let's get drawing, which is probably not going to go well for me, but let's go. Okay, so once you have drawn on yours, so I've done a star in lemon juice and a smiley face in the milk. You're just going to leave them to dry, so you will be able to see them, but as they dry you won't be able to see them, and we will come back to them once they're dry, probably in about 10 minutes, and we shall see the magic happen. So our invisible ink has dried. You cannot see it anymore. So this is where you're going to need an adult or a parent. You're going to turn on one of your hobs if you've got an electric hob, or you can get a hairdryer and use a hairdryer to heat them up, or even just a lamp, but we're going to use this one's turning on now. And all we're going to do is hold this just above it and see what happens. So we've put them over the heat. I would probably recommend using a hairdryer because you'll be able to point the hairdryer yourself instead of an adult having to do it for you. But the invisible ink has turned a brown colour, and now you can see the star. So as these liquids are obviously colourless when you put them on the paper, when you add heat to them, so that means they're not at room temperature anymore, they go through a process called oxidation, which means that they turn different shades of brown. So you can also try this with honey or vinegar and see what different colours you get. The milk and the lemon juice, quite similar shades, so see if you can find ones that are a different shade. And let's get on to experiment 2. So for experiment 2, we are going to see what happens when you put gummy bears into water and into salt water. So all you're going to need for this experiment is some gummy bears. So I had to get a whole bag of Haribos, what a shame. And then 2 bowls, one with just normal tap water in it and one with salt water in. So to make your salt water, you need to get some boiling water. So once again, you need an adult to help you with this. And keep putting salt in it and stirring it until all the salt's dissolved, and keep going until no more salt will dissolve into the water. So let's get on with it. I'm going to have to open the Haribos. My cat wants some. Get the gummy bears and save the rest for later to eat by yourself. So yeah, you can put as many as you want in to each of those things. I'm going to put 2 in each and then keep 1. How many do I need? 5. Maths, 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. Yeah, and then I'm going to keep 1 for reference so we know how big they are, because they're quite small, aren't they? Make salt water. Please get an adult to do this. So just put some hot water in. The only reason you use hot water for this is so that the salt dissolves quicker because it dissolves quicker in hot water than it does in cold water. And then we're just going to put a bunch of salt in there. Get a spoon to be able to stir it. And then we stir it until it's all dissolved. The salt water has now cooled down, and the tap water is this one. So all we're going to do is place 2 gummy bears in each, like this, and then leave them for 3 or 4 hours, and we'll come back and see what happens. So place guesses now. Do we think that they're going to expand? Do we think they're going to shrink? Do you think they'll do different things with the salt being in one of them and not having salt in the other? Have a think and have a guess, and we shall see you in 4 hours. Just about to break something. So it has been a couple of hours now. I didn't leave it as long as you could leave them. I left them for about 2 hours. But let's have a look at what is going on. So this is the salt water and this is the tap water. So here are our gummy bears. So this is the one that hasn't been in any water, and these 2 were the ones in the salt water, which look about the same size, maybe a little smaller, but they've lost the definition of the actual paws and face and ears. And then these 2 were the ones in the tap water, which have gone huge. They've probably doubled in size if we put it next to that. So yeah, the reason that these have gone double the size, and you probably can tell that they're a different orange colour. It's stuck on the kitchen roll. You can see with the colours, you can't really see on camera, that this one's now a darker colour than the one that's bigger. You can't really tell how much bigger it is, but it is about double the size. So yeah, the process that makes them bigger is osmosis, which is the movement of water from one place to another. So yeah, that is everything for this week. So I hope you have an amazing week, and I shall see you very soon. Bye.